Good morning. Casey doing a live video for Casey Collections in Buchanan, Virginia. It's Sunday, January 29th, and we're going to rock out the rest of January. So what does that mean? We are going to open today. We're going to have a pop-up opening today on Sunday the 29th, and we're going to open a little earlier than we did in the last pop-up. We're going to pop open from 10 until 4 today. The doors will go off at 3:45. So hopefully if you're up wondering what you're going to do a little bit later today, well, of course, let's come out and see Casey and the team. Again, we're here from 10 until 4 today. Also, don't forget, it's the last day of a sweetheart of a sale up at Miscellaneous. Essentially, the entire store is on sale as we give back during the month of January while the weather is good. There are a few exclusions, but 40% off that Valentine's decor, 20 to 50% off other items. The 50% really relates to the markdown racks, and again, the exclusions are listed there. So happy Sunday to you. Our pop-up Sundays in many cases aren't extremely busy because I think of the late notice, but if we make one person happy, then we're always delighted about that. So why do I say we're not extremely busy? Well, it's a great day. We're always happy to help, but generally on Sundays, there's a little more time to help you find the perfect option for your living room wall, for example, or perfect option for your storage needs, or perfect rug for your space. So it's a great day to be able to work with you and spend a lot more time. Of course, we love spending time with our customers every day that we're open, and even on days that we're closed by email and voicemail, etc. But it's a good day to come out if you need some help. We did have a lot of interest yesterday in frame prints and, needing some help picking out a frame print, and a couple of words there. We can get our frame prints in different sizes, and don't forget to look up when you're in here. So it's important to know what size frame print, just briefly talking about that you're looking for. For example, this is an 18 by 24, but this simple black frame, as it's called, does add about 4 inches to the height and 4 inches to the width, because about 2 inches on each side. So 18 by 24, quick math there, becomes 22 by 28 when it's placed on the wall. So, people were asking, well, frame print, here is my fireplace. What kind of print or what should go over that? And all of this, of course, is personal preference, but a couple things that I always say at frame prints, about frame prints usually, is whatever makes you happy. And for me, I want to look at a frame print that either takes me to a place that I would like to be. So for me, it's the Humpback Bridge. I love going there. But my number one place to be, of course, is the beach. So I like to have a frame print that makes me think about a place that I would like to be, a calming place. I think about the wall that it's going on and how much time I'm going to be spending looking at that frame print. Or it takes me to a time and a place of that time. So for example, for me, I love this print that's called Spring Cleaning, because there's nothing like spring cleaning, making everything new, fresh, throwing the windows up, in the days before air conditioning, or before we had air conditioning growing up. And, also my grandmother quilted. So I love this particular print because it reminds me of the days of quilting and spending time with my grandparents. So it takes me to a point in time, a place in time that I can't go to again, and I can only go there in my mind. And at the end of a hard, long day, that would be something that I would enjoy looking at. So frame prints, there are no rules of thumb when people ask us, a frame print for the bedroom. That's probably one of the most common questions that we get. And I say, oh my gosh, that one's the easy one. It's anything you want it to be, because you're the one that's in there looking at it when you wind down for the day. And most people aren't giving tours through their bedroom. So it doesn't matter if so-and-so, comes in and this print that, It just doesn't matter. It's your home, it's your space, it's what you want it to be. But of course, it's got to go with what your likes are. So we have a lot of frame prints in store. We can change up sizes. We can change up the frames, which make them look totally different. We can talk through those options, but we also have a lot of access to order. So, again, we can give you some sites where you can go on and we can get things made for you. When we order frame prints, I pick those up they're picked up rather on the back of the furniture truck. So, we like to say about an 8-week lead time just to be safe. But for that special place that you're going to spend a long time or a lot of time looking at, it's well worth the wait. So frame prints represented a lot of interest in store yesterday. So I wanted to kind of touch on that. So come in and let us help you find the perfect piece for your small space. We've been talking to a lot of folks that have a small space. They want this, maybe it's in a basement where they're putting a piece, a table, an island, whichever, they're still deciding, but they want to be able to play games on it, but they want to be able to eat at it. They need a small piece, but they need to be able to fit 4 people. So this piece right here is originally called a server. But what has happened is the vendors adapted it by adding an overhang on the back, and now we call it a small server island. But if you needed to seat, let's say 4 people, it's a tight squeeze, but of course that top can be extended on both ends. You go with the same concept, and again, you want to play some games and you want to just have this all-purpose space where you can eat, okay, where you can store things, and where you can have like 4 people around it. Well, our CT63 island can do that as well. We can actually take this from what is a 4-seater, 1 on each end, okay? And I've got some stools there where we're showing some customers, so ignore the fact they don't match. 2 in the back, that's a 4-seater. But let's say that you want to have 3 couples over, or you've got 4 grandkids, or whatever. We can extend the top of this particular, called an island, but it's going to be your table, game table, whatever. Just take the drawers out, extend the island top, which costs a minimal amount to do, and you take a 4-seater and you make it a 6-seater. So examples of how we can help you find the perfect piece for your space. Here's a mini island, for example. Same concept. It's a real tight space that you have. It's not your primary area, but you need, or maybe it is. You're in a small apartment. We can take this island, extend the top and the front, make it a big door for storage instead of the drawer, and all of a sudden you go from a 3-seater, add it to the front, and you have it be a 4-seater. Or let's say another thing that's been really talked about lately is I have an island in the kitchen. We're redoing our kitchen. There's a lot of redoing going on now. We're hearing more about people redoing than we are about people building at this point. So, I've got an island in my kitchen, and right now I don't like it because it jets out into the floor. So we're looking for options to be able to put it up against the wall without sacrificing the ability to have multiple people sit there. So, again, what do we do there? Well, if we want it to be island height, then all we have to do is take the top that's on this island, and when we get it made, we just shift the top to the front, and the very back then would become a flush back piece. We call those flush back islands, and it would go, up against a wall. So whether it's a small space that you're in and you need to have it be multiple functions, or whether you're redoing your small space and you're trying to change the way that things are turned, then we can certainly help, and Pop-Up Sundays are a great day for us to be able to even spend more time. So if you need that personalized one-on-one attention more than, let's say, you don't want to wait on a Saturday, because sometimes it may be a 15 or 20 minute wait to get to a furniture specialist, and we do the best we can. today's a great day to come out and see us. Little rain in the area a little later, but it's nothing to worry about according to what I see on the weather. Here's an example where it's a two-seater. So two-seater in the back. Now you want to do all of this, let's say, and you're not wanting to invest a lot in seating, because seating is, where it really adds up, but there's nothing like having that back support. But remember, we're in a small space. So if we're in a small space, but we want to save, then, one thing is, of course, don't pick a chair where it's going to cost you $425. Pick a saddle stool that's going to cost you $225 each. And then, of course, they slide under or on the ends. If your island's flush back and you want them on the ends, they slide in under. So, you can go, you can purchase 2 saddle stools or order them for $450 versus the $425 that it costs for, let's say, a Raleigh pub chair. So that's another way to get your seating, whether it's, again, to eat on, to play games on, to play cards on. We're hearing a lot more about game tables than we've had in the past in small spaces. So come in and let us help you find the perfect bedding. Our bedding selection, and of course my Facebook marketing posts, have gone to zero other than laws, just not enough hours in the day. But let us help you find the perfect bedding. We have access to a tremendous amount of bedding. You come in and we've got it set up in the bag as a set, but you don't need that. Talk to us about it. I don't know if that's working or it isn't. I just know I haven't been personally given a lot of attention to the bedding selection. So I'll be doing that as well. But as far as if we don't have the bedding, we can certainly order, just like with curtains and other types of linens. And the turnaround time is generally very, very quick. We can drop ship right to you. So if it's the kind of thing where you're thinking about perhaps changing out, what are some inexpensive ways that I can change out a room and make me feel different? Well, one way is certainly to focus on a room. Notice I said in that question, a room. Focus on a room at a time as you redo. That's going to help you save money. It's going to keep you focused. And, if you can kind of do it at the same time. So, for example, you don't want to get stuck where you're trying to match to a fill in the blank. If you can, it's really nice to be able to, if you're redoing, let's say the floor, and you're redoing, we can take this thing as big as you want, but to keep it simple, picking the flooring, and you're going to put a rug down, and you want to think about linens and wall color. It's kind of nice if you do that simultaneously if possible. So that way it's not left to, now I'm struggling to find the perfect rug. If you can do it kind of all as you're going and do a lot of research, and that requires a lot more time either on our website, thekcstores.com, or it requires a lot of time going out to the flooring places to pick out that hardwood or to get samples. But the way that we can help you the best is if you bring those goodies in. But if you were to shoot photos of them, just make sure they really represent the item that you're taking the photo of. So you're looking for the perfect window treatment. You see we have a lot of valances. We don't have anything in panels. Well, we can tell you in no time flat if they make it in those items really quick. We can also check on things, because of course the vendors aren't open on Sunday, and find out if they have, for example, this Abilene Star in a 84-inch panel if we don't have them. And, if they're in stock, we can communicate with you during the week, let you know, we give you the price, and then we can go forward with an order after you've left the store just over the phone. We do a lot of that now where we take orders over the phone after a person has been in store talking about different options that they would like. And then we can just get the order either drop shipped here, or we certainly can get it drop shipped over to your home, and depending on what it is would dictate the freight amount. But with the price of gas, if it's $10 to ship out, 5 balances, well, I got to tell you, depending on how quickly you want it, or depending on, whether you want to spend the money for gas or not, it's always a great option. Or if you're watching from home and you're further away, we have customers in all the time from other states. We had a couple or a family in yesterday from North Carolina looking for, or actually purchased furniture, from a catalog, our Lancaster Legacy Mercedes line of furniture. But if you're not in a position to drive here, but there are some non-breakable goodies that you'd like to order from us, then you certainly can always let us know and we can help with that. So whether you're looking for the perfect frame print, whether you're looking for the perfect piece of furniture for your small space, or perhaps you're looking for the perfect piece of furniture for your large space. In other words, the islands that I talked about, they aren't big enough for you. Or the islands that, and I show tables along the way, they're not large enough. You've got a situation where you want an extension table, okay? So in other words, this is your ideal setup on a regular basis. You want it to be 3 foot by 4 foot. So 3 foot this way. We're hearing a lot more people needing a table that's 3 foot wide instead of 42 inches wide. As again, it's not their primary place. It's their space where they want to do, again, meals occasionally. It's a secondary setup, but they want to sit there and play games and they want to be at a lower setup rather than, let's say, at an island. So storage isn't part of the equation for them. We can take a table like this and we can add leaves to it, an extension table, and leaves that you actually are able to store inside the table. We can take it out to 5 feet. We can take it out to 6 feet. And that's what we have back here. That same table, well, it's not from the same maker, but nonetheless, we can take it out to 6 feet when we need it. So smaller space, we only want to go out to 4 feet on a regular basis, but occasionally we need it to be a little bit bigger. So that's a wonderful way to do that. You need a 8-foot table, as a starting point, and you need a couple leaves. You need a 6-foot table as a starting point, and you want to go out to 10 feet long. Great, we can do that. You want this table, now we're talking about big spaces, right? You don't want it to be 42 inches wide because you've got this monster room. The largest table we've ever ordered was 10 feet long and 48 feet, yeah, that's it, 48 inches wide. And that was for a grandfather and a grandmother that wanted to be able to have all their kids and all their grandchildren around the table every Sunday. Gosh, I remember those days, but we didn't have a 10 foot by 48 inch table. We squished in, and I would do it all over again if I could press that button in a heartbeat. So again, whether it's the perfect print, whether it is the perfect, setup for a small space where you have storage, the setup for a space where you don't want it to take up a lot of room on a regular basis, but you want to be able to extend it, or you're looking to change out your linens, whether that be your window treatments, your shower curtains, whether that is bedding and you need it all to coordinate because you want, let's say you want your bedding to coordinate to your master bathroom suite. All of those options we can look and explore with you to be able to provide that kind of customer service, whether it's when we're open our regular hours, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, or whether it's when we pop open like today on Sunday, January 29th, and we're here from 10 until 4. But here at KC, we're always willing to go the extra mile and help. There are times that you may have to wait on us, and that's just part of the equation as we're helping other folks as well. But why don't you come in and let us help you find, and I'll let you fill in the blank. And while you're out and about, don't forget about Miscellaneous in Fairfield, where you're sure to find something that's much different from what I have here. And it's the final day of a sweetheart of a sale at Miscellaneous in Fairfield. With that in mind, I'm KC. Now I'm going to be looking to help you find the perfect
blank today.